Today, we're going to cover writing equations of lines if we are given points and tables. So let's go ahead and get started. If I'm going to write my equation, I need to use the slope-intercept format. So y equals mx plus b, where m stands for my slope. Remember, that's the rise over the run if I'm looking at a graph. And if I'm looking at a set of points, I'm going to use the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I also need to find my y-intercept, which on a graph is on my y-axis, but written as an ordered pair, the x spot is always going to be 0 and my y spot is going to be my y-intercept. So let's go ahead and look at an example. It asks us to write an equation for the line that goes through the 2 points. Well, let's start with our blank format for our equation. Remember, I want to fill out y equals mx plus b. Also remember that when I'm filling in my equation, I'm going to fill in this blank spot in front of x and where b goes. Remember, m is the slope. When I have 2 points, I'm going to use the slope formula. y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. What are all these x's and y's? Well, remember, ordered pairs are points that the first part of a coordinate is the x and the second is the y. Also remember, this is my first point and this is my second point. So I could call this x little one, y little one, x2, y2. And that's where these numbers and letters come from. So let's put our formula into practice. y2 matches with y2, negative 2 minus y1, so minus a negative 5, divided by x2, which is 7, minus, because my formula says minus, x1, which is 0. My next step is to simplify. Negative 2 minus a negative 5, remember that changes to both to addition, and negative 2 plus 5 is 3, divided by 7 minus 0 is 7. So 3 over 7x plus, what is my y-intercept? As I said on the previous page, if I have an ordered pair where the x spot is 0, the y value is my y-intercept. So if I look at this first point right here, I can see that x spot is a 0, so the y value is my y-intercept. So I would write negative 5. Now remember, to simplify an equation, I make sure that the slope is as reduced as I can, which it is, 3 over 7x. And instead of plus and negative, I'm always going to change that to minus 5, and that would be simplified. All right, let's look at a second example. I want to write an equation that goes through these 2 points, so I'm going to set up a blank format, y equals something x plus something. Remember, that first blank is my slope, and I'm going to use my slope formula again because I have 2 points. So here we go. y2, so how do I know which one is which? This is my first point, this is my second point, this is an x, this is a y, this is an x, this is a y. And because this is my first point, I put a little 1s, and because this is my second point, I put little 2s. Let's go ahead and calculate. y2 is negative 3. I get to go back to my formula, minus y1. So minus a negative 1 divided by x2 matches to 2 in my example, minus x1, which is 0. So 0. I'm going to simplify. Minus a negative means I add. Negative 3 plus 1 simplifies to negative 2. 2 minus 0 is 2. So what's my slope? Negative 2 over 2x plus, what is my y-intercept? I'm going to find the ordered pair where the value is 0. I'm going to plug in that y value into my y-intercept spot, so negative 1. negative 1. And I'm going to make sure I simplify. I need to make sure my slope is simplified, and I can see that it simplifies to negative 1 x, and then instead of plus a negative, I'm just going to write minus 1. And this is my final answer. We're going to do one more example of ordered pairs. So we're going to do this first example. So very first step, y equals something x plus my y-intercept. Let's find our slope. Remember, here's my formula so that we can keep referring to it. Here's my first point, here's my second point. So this is x1 and y1. This is x2 and y2. y2, y2. So negative 4 minus y1, y1 minus 9 divided by x2, which is 0, minus 2. I'm going to simplify. Negative 4 minus 9 is negative 13. 0 minus 2 is negative 2. I go to fill in my equation, so negative 13 over negative 2, x plus, now my y-intercept is where my x value is 0. Remember, I'm looking for x in that first spot to be a 0. So here's my y-intercept, and I can see that it is negative 4. So make sure you simplify your equation. Y is equal to negative 3 over negative 2 simplifies. A negative divided by negative is a positive. I'm going to leave it as 13 over 2 though, instead of a decimal, x minus 4. And that would be my final answer. So that is how I find equations from points. Now really quickly, I'd like to talk about finding equations from tables. Now you might be saying this is so completely different, but remember, tables are just sets of ordered pairs. They're just a bunch of points. For example, this first row is the point 0, 4. This second row is the point 1, 7. This is the point 210, and this is the point 313. Now with all these points, do you need to work with every single one of them? No, I only need 2 points in order to find a slope. So I'm going to ignore the bottom part of my table. I want to write an equation, y equals mx plus b. I'm going to leave those 2 spots blank so I can fill them in. My slope, remember the formula is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. This is point 1, this is point 2. So x1, y1, x2, y2. And I calculate 7 minus 4, so y2 minus y1, divided by 1 minus 0. So what do I end up with? 7 minus 4 is a grand total of 3. 1 minus 0 is 1. What does that simplify to? I can simplify it right away if I want to, which is 3. My y-intercept. Now this is where it comes a little different. Where in your table does it have that y-intercept? Where is the x value 0? If you look at our top row in the x column, here's my 0. So my y-intercept is 4, so plus 4. And this would be my equation since it's simplified. Last one, try it on your own. Take a second and pause it. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So again, I'm going to pick 2 points for my table. I usually pick the first 2. I'm going to write them down. So I have 0, negative 2, and negative 3, 0. This is x, this is y, this is x, this is y, this is my first point, this is my second point. My slope, y2 is 0 minus y1 is negative 2. x2 is negative 3 minus 0, and I simplify. So 0 plus 2 is 2. Negative 3 minus 0 is negative 3. Remember, I'm filling out my blank formula. Y equals something x plus something. My slope goes in front of the x. So 2 over negative 3 plus, now what's my y-intercept? You remember you're looking in this column for a 0. and the other column is your y-intercept. So here's my 0, my y-intercept is -2. I'm going to simplify my answer if I can, and I cannot simplify my slope. Plus, sorry, not plus, -2.